Thank you, Madam Speaker. I appreciate coming up after the member for Fairfield, given his previous experience before coming to this place, and I agree, and I'll outline it later with taking away the money trail, cuts them down at their knees, and in organised crime we absolutely need to do that. We need to make sure that there are barriers there to them going on as business as usual, and for that reason I'll be supporting the bill. This is exactly where the government's attention should be. I mean, illegal tobacco, drugs, weapons, gangland hits. These are all things that are coming up on our telly every day. We're watching, kids, the community on the news, they're watching gangland shootings, they're watching fire bombings to residential buildings, to business, and sometimes it's from, an innocent victim. Sometimes it's a business of someone that has worked their life into this building, into this business, and then all of a sudden it's taken away, or the next door business is targeted and it affects the innocent people's business. So we really do need to make sure that we are coming down very hard, and as these episodes of an escalating level of violence, they're becoming disturbingly common, mostly in the city. And when these families turn on the telly and watch a house being shot at, overseas people are getting executed based on criminal gangs here in Sydney that are becoming bolder, they're becoming more violent, they're becoming more reckless, and I think we really need to support this bill because it finally starts moving the focus back onto the actual criminals, the people that are driving the fear and the violence escalation across New South Wales. We shouldn't be targeting law-abiding people. We should not be creating more bureaucracy for compliant firearms owners. But going directly after organised crime is imperative. Going after the illegal firearms, going after the gang members who repeatedly, and violently attack others. We need to make sure that we have stronger penalties for public shootings, the tougher laws around gang-related arson attacks, increased penalties for recruiting children. These are children into organised crime, and stronger powers to target criminal networks. These are all great reforms. Targeting wealth, I just said, in my introductory comments, that targeting unexplained wealth from drug traffickers, from organised crime, it makes sense. I'm pleased to see it. And as I said, I agree with the member for Fairfield that if you target the money flow of the criminal gangs, you can actually impede them, and that will make a difference. I think it's really good that we're focusing on people that shoot into homes or businesses. They deserve serious prison time. If you recruit children who into organised crime, these children have the world at their feet. You're just going to put a ceiling on them. And today we had many young school leaders in the House, and these kids have opportunity, and the minute you recruit someone into a gang, you are taking away some of those opportunities. They need to be fostered and encouraged to do the best that they can do. And I think once you bring them into the gang, they start to learn that this is normal. It's normal to terrorise communities through gang violence, and the consequences for that, for recruiting children into gangs, for participating in severe gang violence, the consequences need to be severe. I think one of the ones about the kill cars and increasing the punishment for kill cars is it's really important, because you are taking someone's car, that it's a possession that they've worked for, you are loading it with things that will injure someone else, and then you're going to target someone down the track, let alone the fact that it could actually impact someone on the road during the process, or put in danger the police force and other community bystanders. These are people that are there to protect our community, and it just doesn't go far enough. This bill does not go far enough to protecting all of those members of the community. And the Coalition are seeking amendments for tougher bail consequences, tougher sentencing, and tougher penalties for organised criminal activity. How can we get serious about protecting our communities when this government isn't laying down the full force of the law on the criminals? We need to be deterring people from going down this path. We need more preventative legislation rather than being reactive. and toughen up the sentences for the serious violence through our amendments, it will help. The justice system should not be a revolving door for violent gang offenders. Communities are sick of weak consequences. They're sick of seeing dangerous criminals repeatedly offend while innocent people are left feeling unsafe in their own neighbourhoods. And while much of this violence is concentrated in Sydney, regional communities are watching closely. Regional New South Wales is not experiencing that same level of organised gang violence, and we should be doing everything possible to keep it that way. We don't want to see the same consequences flow into regional New South Wales, because once organised criminal networks become embedded in communities, the damage can be enormous. We face our own, repeat offenders breaking into homes, terrorising our elderly and women, stealing our cars, firebombing someone's lawful possession when they discard them just to get rid of the fingerprints. These criminals are not facing consequences, and that needs to change. We should be acting early, we should be acting strongly, and we should be acting decisively to stop the spread before it takes further hold across the state. The government should have spent far more time focused on legislation like this from the beginning. We need to address the youth crime ringleaders. Instead, they've gone soft on youth crime across regional New South Wales. This government has stood by while a man in a wheelchair was broken into and threatened with his life with a knife. Or while the Willawarren post office was broken into and the proprietor was bashed with a golf club. We must have stronger laws for people who commit those crimes. And instead of focusing on appropriate laws that represent our community expectation, lawful firearms owners have felt increasingly targeted by this government. Rural landholders are not the people driving gang violence in Sydney. Licensed sporting shooters are not carrying out shootings and firebombings. Law-abiding firearms owners complying with strict licensing and storage laws every single day are not the problem. The problem is the organised criminals carrying illegal, unregistered firearms for only one purpose: violence. Criminal gangs don't care about regulations. They don't care about registering their weapons. They don't follow firearms laws because they are criminals. That is why the government's rushed firearms legislation was so disappointing to many people. It felt like a total knee-jerk reaction designed to look tough without properly actually targeting the people who are the problem in New South Wales. And I think removal of, like what I said in my nom this week, removal of independent appeals right through NCAT only further damaged trust with lawful firearms owners. Because no government agency should operate without proper independent oversight or accountability. That's like legislating the NRL or the state of origin, so that one administrator controls the entire game, writes the rules, wears the referee's uniform, blows the whistle every time, and I guess they're going to run the bunker too. So if that was me, I may as well just anoint New South Wales as the winner tonight, go the Blues. But you can imagine how hard that person is going to be hated, that one person who's in control of every single step. There's no oversight, there's no nothing. There's no fairness to the other teams that might be on the field. There's no fairness to the fans, the clubs, or the players themselves. So law-abiding people deserve more than that. They deserve fairness and the right to independent review. I support this bill because New South Wales deserves stronger action against organised crime and violent gangs. Communities where we are, we desperately want criminals to be punished properly, and young offenders who are maybe heading down that path to have opportunity to maybe not go down that path. Our communities want governments focused on the people actually causing the harm. This is where the government should continue to focus on. They need to go harder on organised crime. They need to go harder on gang violence. This is where the member for Lane Cove's amendments will help. Cracking down on illegal firearms trafficking will make our state safer, while arbitrary, unfair rules on law-abiding firearms owners will not. So stop treating lawful firearm owners like they are the problem. Go after the gangs, go after their money, and protect our families and our community.